John Bolton, the king of the swamp monsters, has called for an FBI probe into Tulsi Gabbard and Matt Gaetz. The outrage from the deep state cabal is palpable. You see, just the other day, Donald Trump announced that he would be nominating Matt Gaetz for the position of Attorney General. Quite possibly one of the, I'll put it this way, the biggest nukes he could have dropped politically. The D.C. establishment is scrambling in panic, and they're losing their minds. Such is John Bolton saying the FBI should go after them. For what? No, I mean, seriously, what do you mean the FBI should go after Tulsi Gabbard and Matt Gaetz? What have they done? A member of Congress, a former member of Congress, a member of Trump's transition team? This is how panicked they are, that they are stating exactly what they do. When you are a problem for the machine state, they will send the FBI at you, even if you've done nothing wrong. Let me make sure this is patently clear for everybody. Share this with everyone you know so they can hear it. Okay, so when you go to Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas, and you say the DOJ has been weaponized by a political establishment to destroy anyone who would stand up against it, show them this Newsweek article. John Bolton urges FBI to probe Tulsi Gabbard and Matt Gaetz. Donald Trump said, Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence. And the machine is saying, send the FBI after them. For what reason? Has Tulsi done anything wrong? No. He's saying, go on a fishing expedition, dig up whatever you can, destroy him. Isn't it amazing that they are saying it out loud now? That's how scared they are. That's why I'm so excited. Now the smears are coming out. They're going after Matt Gaetz in every way imaginable. And they've got a story saying they were just about to release this ethics committee review, but now he's resigned. Why would that matter? That only matters if they weren't going to leak it anyway. And of course they were, and they still are. They're using this as a smear to try and make it seem like Matt Gaetz is fleeing. Well, the big news, of course, Matt Gaetz has resigned from Congress. He told Mike Johnson, you can't have that many absent days or absence, that much absence. And so he's going to be resigning now. Hopefully this gives Florida enough time to make an appointment or a special election, whatever it is they have to do, to get someone to fill his seat by January 3rd. And then, of course, Matt Gaetz will be serving the Trump administration. Now, others have said there is no way that Matt Gaetz will get confirmed by the Senate. Bolton's like, it should be 100-0. Let me make this as clear as I can. Any Republican senator that stands in the way of Matt Gaetz is an enemy of the popular mandate, is an enemy of the majority who have voted for this mandate, and I will muster up every ounce of political force I can to see that these people don't win their elections. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. Maybe I'll form a PAC and we'll buy billboards and things like this, and we'll do like a freedom and accountability political action committee of some sort, consulting with my lawyers to go about the best way legally and effectively to basically state, if you oppose the people, you should lose your elections. Elon Musk has stated something similar, that anybody who's opposing the Trump agenda, he is going to fund a primary challenge. Okay, well, we already got one. As many of you know, I'm here in West Virginia, and we've got Shelley Moore Capito, who's got a F rating from Conservative, I think it's Conservative Review, an F. And, she was in favor of red flag laws and then lied about it. These people are evil. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, to the people who, I'm like only 1 degree separated from this person. I don't care. I think this is evil to lie to the American people, to strip them of their rights and block a popular mandate. I am sick of this now. Thomas Massey was asked, and he says, he's the Attorney General. Suck it up. This is what the American people want. I'm worried. I'm worried they will block the guy, that they're going to find some way to obstruct. And now Matt Gaetz, having left Congress, what does that mean for his future? But I'll tell you what, maybe I'm wrong, but I think Donald Trump has a plan. It's looking like he already did. I think he went to Matt Gaetz and said, here's what we're going to do. You resign. I will nominate you for AG. We'll likely get you through confirmation. They're going to try and stop you. If they don't confirm, we adjourn Congress. We then recess, appoint you for the time being. Now, why would Mike Johnson or anyone else go along with this? The way it would have to work is if the Senate refuses to confirm Trump's cabinet, and this was basically what was happening in the first term, they were holding up all his confirmations. Mike Johnson, as Speaker, would call for adjournment of Congress. The Senate would then say no. Donald Trump then, under Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution, can resolve the dispute by adjourning Congress himself. He has that power. It's in the Constitution. He would then say, you are adjourned. And while you are, he has the right to appoint people in recess. That will get Matt Gaetz through. There is some speculation that worst case scenario, should that not happen, there's still a potential opportunity that with Marco Rubio moving to Secretary of Secretary of State is the speculation. Florida could then appoint Matt Gaetz to be the senator from Florida. So there are contingencies upon contingencies. But we'll see, my friends. Before we get started, of course, head over to castbrew.com. Buy Cast Brew Coffee. We sponsor ourselves. And we got Appalachian Nights, Rise with Roberto Jr., Stand Your Grounds. Cast Brew Coffee is our coffee company. We are very close to launching I got to be careful on how I talk about it, but we want to have coffee shops all over the country. And there'll be a big announcement coming soon. So buy our coffee. Also, head over to timcast.com, click join us, become a member to be a part of the movement. People ask me every day, how do I get involved? Timcast.com, join us. When you become a member, you support this company, you support the work that I do, and you'll get access to a Discord server with tens of thousands of people. And they're asking me to promote it because they want you to join. They have meetups, pre-shows, after shows, and you will be a part of that community. So, timcast.com. Here's the story from Newsweek. John Bolton has argued Rep. Matt Gaetz and Tulsi Gabbard, Donald Trump's nominees, should undergo full field FBI investigations before their Senate confirmation hearings take place. The comments were made by Bolton, who served as Trump's national security advisor. Oh, and Trump regretted that. He said, that guy is stupid. That is a stupid guy. Now, Trump thought that by bringing in someone like Bolton, you terrify these other countries because Bolton's a psychopath. And then Bolton stabbed him in the back. On Wednesday, Trump revealed he had selected Gaetz and Gabbard, and we got champagne. We cracked champagne open last night. Look, you guys know I supported Tulsi Gabbard for president in 2019. Her principal position was ending these wars of intervention and regime change. And I'm here for it. This idea of American international democracy, building garbage, whatever they want to do, spending your money, burning everything down. It's a plot to create a global hegemonic authority. Okay. What I'm concerned about is, I don't know, kids growing up in safe neighborhoods, families being able to afford groceries, but the machine state sees you as a cog in their machine of an economic driver. We don't produce things. So I'll tell you my biggest problem with everything they're doing and why I want to see it dismantled. The machine state turned America into this disgusting cultural hodgepodge of degeneracy. The idea from these people was we could spread democracy all around the world. But by neglecting the culture at home, we now have child drag shows. We have crime rampant in our major cities. We have, and they'll say, oh, but crime is down. Crime is down. I didn't say crime was up. I said crime is rampant. And it is. And they'll say, yeah, but it's down. I'm like, I don't care. Crime's a problem. It's still up from going. If you go way back, crime's way up. And then we have a broken border. And more importantly, fine, let's throw the crime thing out the window. You've got Trende Aragua taking over apartment complexes. This is the destruction of the United States. Now, here's a statement from John Bolton himself. And ALX says, what a great endorsement.
Well, I thought it was the worst cabinet level appointment in history until they then heard about the Matt Gaetz appointment. Really, my reaction was that this is like the legend of Caligula, the Roman emperor, who wanted to nominate his horse as a Roman consul. You had to be a Roman senator at the time to be a consul, and it was intended to show how demeaned and degraded the Roman Senate had become. So now we're going to see whether the American Senate can stand up and reject two people who are totally unqualified, unfit professionally, and and really lacking in the moral characteristics, the character that you need to hold these jobs. I think this vote should be 100-0 against both.
John Bolton, your tears sustain me. When I wake up in the morning and I think about, why do I do this job? It's so hard. I remember that John Bolton cries himself to sleep every single night, and it puts a smile on my face to see him on CNN. Look at, who is this? Who's this lady? Is that Cassie Hunt? I don't know her name. Look at her face. To see him be like, oh, they're so unqualified. Oh, his poor baby neocon crying. Well, that's too effing bad for you. Call on your cronies in the FBI. Do whatever it is you want. We, the American people, have made our voice heard, and we will not stand for psychopaths like you. But who are you, right? Just some old man crying. I don't like them. Aw. Do you need a cookie? Maybe some more milk, John? Maybe I'll get you a nice blanket for your lap while you sit in your rocking chair in the sun. And forget about it, because you do not represent us. And maybe you had your time. That's fine. See you later. You know, at a certain point, you can just say, I'm stepping out, I'm bowing out. I love this. Joe Walsh, thank you. Joe Walsh says, when you voted for Trump, this is what you voted for. Attorney General Matt Gaetz. That's what you voted for. Congratulations. Correct. In fact, I didn't even think Trump was going to go this based. You know, I got to be honest. Joe, I already voted for the guy. He already won. You don't need to cheer him on anymore. I'm already supporting him. Does Joe Walsh think we don't like Matt Gaetz? When Matt Gaetz destroyed the $1 billion IOU machine in the House, it was like watching the Hulk tear down a building. And, you know, and people were saying, yeah, but, you know, even Massey wasn't a big fan. I like Thomas Massey. But there were a lot of people saying, what benefit does this get us? Let McCarthy be the speaker and we'll get marginal gains. No, we wouldn't. And so some have said, but Mike Johnson's no good. How is he better? I don't care. I do think he's better, by the way. He's worked with Trump on a lot of things because I think Mike Johnson realizes you do not have the same degree of power in the establishment that you did before, and compromise is required. But I'll tell you this. McCarthy made a bunch of IOUs. You get me in, you support me, and then all these members of Congress are told, because it's all a pay to play game, you're going to vote for McCarthy. That's the game. Otherwise, we're going to make life difficult for you. You know, and they don't start out that way. They say, look, we're hoping you're going to support McCarthy. This is what we want. And they all say, okay, sure, fine. And here's what we're going to give you if you do, because we're the machine. We control all of these things. We control whether your bills make it, whether they don't, if you're going to have funding, are you going to get reelected? And Matt Gaetz said, I will burn that down. So McCarthy loses. That's it. The machine took a punch to the gut, and that was one of the most powerful things we'd seen. And so when I look at who's in Congress, there's a handful of people I like. I like Lauren Boebert, I like Marjorie Taylor Greene, I like Jim Jordan, I like Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz, I told him this, I said to his face, you're my favorite member of Congress. I don't know what that means, but just to see you stand up and say, this machine we will not tolerate, epic. And Matt Gaetz has been masterfully on the side of freedom and the people. And he doesn't take money from PACs. Absolutely amazing. So Joe, when you say this is what you voted for, I'm sorry. Technically, I didn't. I didn't think Trump would be this based. When I heard that he chose Matt Gaetz, I bought champagne. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Well, they're coming after him. Aside from saying the FBI should be weaponized against Tulsi Gabbard and Matt Gaetz, can't say I'm surprised. We've got this tweet scoop. Matt Gaetz resigned from Congress just 2 days before the House Ethics Committee was set to vote on releasing a highly damaging report outlining its investigation into Gaetz. Sources tell me the panel no longer has jurisdiction when he leaves. Here's Axios. Matt Gaetz resigns ahead of key Ethics Committee meeting. You see how they're framing it? And look at this photo they use. Matt Gaetz resigned because Donald Trump wants him as AG. I can lay it out for you very easily. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'll tell you exactly what I think. Donald Trump doesn't want a quiet coup. You've already got DOJ staffers. They gave this statement, I think it was Washington Post, raw story published, I talked about it yesterday, saying they will obstruct Donald Trump's agenda, which is our agenda, the people who voted for him, which is the majority of the country. They say it's not, but we're the voting bloc. If you didn't vote, then you don't get a say. So Donald Trump is concerned with things like this. He needs to know that he has a team that believes in him and isn't beholden to the corporate machine state. Now, Trump made many mistakes. John Bolton, least among them, or worst among them, I guess. He made a lot of mistakes. This time around, he's not going to. What the left is saying is that Matt Gaetz is a loyalist who will kiss the pinky ring of Trump and never defy him. I disagree. Matt Gaetz has stood opposed to Donald Trump on certain circumstances, but Trump knows that Matt Gaetz is not alongside these military-industrial complex lobbyist defense contractors, and he knows this man will not stage a quiet coup against him. That's it. This is why they're outraged. They're banging their fists on the table. They're lying, cheating, and stealing because they do not control Tulsi Gabbard and Matt Gaetz. The best evidence about Tulsi Gabbard, she was the darling of the Democrats. She was supposed to be their female POC who was going to lead the party, their younger generation. But she backed Bernie over Hillary. Hillary barfed all over herself, screaming, and they took it out on Tulsi. That's why we like Tulsi. Tulsi has then navigated this. She ends up joining the Republican Party under Trump. They could not control her. I think Tulsi saw the writing on the wall. The Democrats were going in a direction that the people would oppose, and it was the end of your political career to back some garbage like that. But think about it. Tulsi is young. She's military. She is a female woman of color. Everything the Democrats were screaming they needed. And you know what? If Tulsi fell in line and played ball, they probably would have put her up as seriously. She may have been their contender for the presidency in 2028. I mean, think about it. Tulsi, progressive, young, they needed a backbench. And she said, no, you guys are nuts. And now she's with the Republicans. So what do Democrats have? Nothing and no one. Pete Buttigieg? Wow. They're in shambles. So, of course, they're trying to smear Matt Gaetz, titling this to make it seem like he's resigning to dodge this. Trump went to Gaetz. He wants Gaetz for AG because he knows that Gaetz wants similar things to what he does, and that Gaetz, his fan base, his supporters are the same people who back Donald Trump. He knows we're on the same team, and he can count on him. And you know what? This is big. This position lines Matt Gaetz up for a potential VP under J.D. Vance. Could you imagine 2028 Vance Gaetz Republican ticket? I don't know how Democrats are going to top that, but we'll see. We'll see. The lying, the cheating, the stealing, it don't work. You know, my friends, they say these liberals are like, people just don't care that Donald Trump's a felon and a rapist and whatever else. You're in a cult. How could you not care that Trump is these things? And I'm like, well, actually, we know that's not true. We know you're lying. You know, we do care. We don't want people who do those things. We're more inclined to believe that the Democrats are doing those things, to be completely honest. They made up fake charges against Trump. The charges that were beyond the statute of limitations, that they upgraded to felonies without any underlying crime. A special law passed so a woman from 30 years ago, she could claim that Trump abused her in a Bergdorf Goodman changing room. I don't believe every little thing I hear. But you know what? There are a lot of people who do. But I'm going to shout out Greg Gutfeld again, because I've been saying this for a while. He had a great line when he said, Democrats' worldview is downstream from hoaxes. But once you see through one hoax, you can't go back. So you can cry all day and say, but Matt Gaetz is accused of this, that, or otherwise. And I'll be like, yeah, I don't believe you, man. Like, I don't believe that a guy who is funded from the people and not the machine state, a guy who has challenged the powers in the House, all of a sudden gets these ethics complaints and investigations. I don't believe it. Kevin McCarthy's a scumbag. I don't trust these people. And you know what? A lot of people I do like did back McCarthy. They wanted that incremental gain. I don't care. I like a guy like Matt Gaetz. You know what I like about him? Let me tell you. I see strength in how he handles himself. And I see that not even from some of the better members of Congress. They think, I'll take the marginal victories. And I got no problem saying it. Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, for example, I think they're fantastic. But I view them as looking at Kevin McCarthy as, I'm going to take a marginal victory But this perpetuates the machine state. Matt Gaetz is like, I don't need you. I don't need any of you. And if you want to play hardball, I will play hardball. And that's what I respect. I'll tell you why. Here, I'll tell you how I handle business. About, what are we looking at? 6 years ago, I had one of the biggest networks approach me. And they said, we're going to take your show. This is before Timcast IRL. This is the morning show. At the time, the morning show was much bigger because with Timcast IRL split the viewership. More people watch IRL now than the morning show. And they said, we can promote this and transform this. You know, we can see how hard you work. We can see your following is growing massively, and you are going to make millions. I said, okay, this sounds fantastic. We negotiated terms. I leave the office out of New York. I get sent a contract with hidden BS in it that would have taken the rights, the IP. And I emailed them back and said, seems like you have some mistakes in this contract claiming ownership and IP. Send me the real contract and we'll do business. They emailed me back saying, this is boilerplate normal stuff. Anything you have a problem with, you redline. And I responded with, yeah, no, I'm not going to hire a lawyer and pay $5,000 to go through this contract is hefty. It's because you guys are trying to steal my IP. Fix it or we're done. And they said, well, I'm sorry you feel this way, but this is standard business. I said, see you later. Bye. Now I realize maybe the show would be a lot bigger and we'd be, whatever it may be. But this is what I like about Matt Gaetz. He's willing to walk away and say, we don't play these games with you. Now, some people might say, but Tim, this kind of business strategy is bad for you. I don't care. I literally don't care. There are things that matter more. I will tell the biggest networks and millions of dollars to go shove it up their at if they think they're going to play dirty. And when I saw Matt Gaetz tell McCarthy and all of these things, I said, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Tell the machine state to shove it up there. And we don't waste time. I will not play a game with people who are going to knife you in the back this way. So when I see these other members of Congress say, just let McCarthy have it and he'll give us crumbs. I'm like, dude, I didn't come here for crumbs, okay? I came here to win. And you know what? Those who are willing to drive full speed and say no are the ones who are going to make it to the top. And those who keep dropping to their knees will not do it. Because I'll tell you this, McCarthy's, the establishment GOP, the John Boltons, these are the guys who are willing to burn it all down to take power. Look at what the machine does to Donald Trump. Donald Trump, they tried to assassinate him twice. I say they as an anti-Trump elements. People who hate Trump have gone after him twice, a third plot, and now the Iranians. There are people in this country who have tried to frame Donald Trump as a traitor. His entire first term, he was impeached for it. These people will stop at nothing. And you know what? I respect it. I do. I think they're evil, but I respect it. And what does it mean to respect it? It doesn't mean you think it's a good thing. Don't confuse what it means to respect. You respect a bear. It means you don't dance around and make stupid noises because that thing will maul you down. I respect that John Bolton would call for the FBI to investigate Gaetz and Tulsi with no crimes, just as a political weapon, because that's the kind of power that wins. And all of these people who drop to their knees and say, please don't hurt me, that's the kind of power that loses. I should say, or lack thereof. I see in Trump and I see in Matt Gaetz people who have said, no, you are not playing this game with us anymore. And boy, are they pissed. They're losing power because of it. They have finally met their match. So be it. Shout out to Matt Gaetz and Tulsi Gabbard and Pete Hegseth and the rest of Donald Trump's appointments. I'm getting real giddy. Then I will say, protect Donald Trump and J.D. Vance at all costs. Do not let them be in the same car at the same time. Get them to the inauguration safely. And Lord, help us that Donald Trump makes it and Matt Gaetz becomes AG. Because I got to be honest, guys, it feels too good to be true. Now, I'm going to say this. I have my fingers crossed that Trump names Kash Patel for FBI director. Fingers crossed. I know a lot of people have criticisms of Kash. I have heard his breakdown. I have heard him explain this. And there would be, in my mind, I can't think of anyone better. Now, Matt Gaetz was a surprise. There's good people that Trump could pick, but I'm hoping we're going to get Kash Patel. We'll see. Smash that like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Become a member over at timcast.com to join the Discord server, join the movement, support the work that we do. Next segment's coming up at noon, and we will see you all then.